This is Jay Dreamers. Welcome to my house once again. I have a few more things on my mind I wanted to share, and right now that is the concept of the dome. Many of us do believe that there is a dome over the flat earth. Some people believe that the flat earth is infinite and it just goes on forever. I'm not too convinced of that yet. Not too sure about that. Because if that's true, then also the sky would just go on forever and there would be no need to have a dome. But I can understand various arguments about it. Anyways, so a lot of people focus on like, yes, there's a dome and here's the proof for the dome and look at the stars and look at this and it all proves that there's a dome. But I don't hear too much speculation about why is there a dome? Or hey, what's on the other side of the dome? Okay, I think why is there a dome is probably the most important question. The next important would be what's on the other side of it. A lot of people have an interesting theory that on the other side of the dome is a space-like atmosphere that is essentially an ocean or a gigantic amount of water, you know, that there's like space is basically ocean. I'm not absolutely sure about that. There may be some sort of truth to that. I believe there is some sort of truth to that. I don't believe it's a vacuum. I just made a video about that. So I can go with there being some sort of a liquid type material that connects everything together. It reminds me of this book called The Sword of Truth, where there's this machine type thing that's alive, that the characters can travel from one point to another very quickly, and they call it the slith. And it's basically they breathe in this liquid and they go into this like just euphoric state where when they travel from one point to another. That's what that reminds me of. Anyways though, what do I think is on the other side of the dome? Well, I believe that a lot of clues have been left to us in the form of, you know, movie clips, books, things like that. And I think that the looking glass metaphor is about the dome. I believe that in the movie The Matrix, where you see Neo touch the mirror, you know, and the mirror is kind of liquidy or whatever, and then he goes through the looking glass into another world, or Alice goes through the looking glass into another place, or people go through these portals and through these reflective surfaces or through the water or whatever it may be. They always end up in some amazingly creative otherworldly place. So right now I have the idea that I think that may be what is on the other side of the dome. I think that if we were to get through the dome or to pass through the looking glass, we would basically be on our way to another realm, to another dimension, to another world, whatever you would like to call it, another type of existence. And all the clues that have been left for us show us that it is a miraculous, amazing, fantastic, magical type of existence. So it's vastly different than the world we live on now. Which brings me to why. Sorry, I was eating chips. I had some in my teeth. Anyways, why? Why are we confined? Why is there a dome? Why is there something keeping us here? I speculate. It could be an experiment. You know, if you have an experiment, you would like to set boundaries much of the time. There could be watchers experimenting, watching, calculating, seeing what the results are. I'm not too sure about that one. I think I probably lean towards the answer to why is there a dome. I like the idea of an incubation period. That the dome is like our eggshell. metaphorically speaking, and we're growing inside of it. And that's a part of our purpose and our reason for even being here. This growth process, this growing process. And I believe that it's mostly a spiritual thing and energy. It has a lot to do with energy, positive and negative energy, stuff like that, masculine, feminine balancing. But anyways, I like to think of it right now as an incubation, that we have this dome above us to keep us here until we're ready to leave. That makes sense to me. I mean, you can look around at mankind, and let's just say, for example, I'll make this up right now. Let's just say that if I were to leave the dome and I went into this Alice in Wonderworld imaginative place where basically whatever my thoughts were manifested. Well, that could be a heavenly type place. That can be an amazingly blissful, beautiful place to be in. But it could also be a very ugly, scary, and dangerous place if I don't understand how to control my imagination or my creativity or my own mind. Does that make sense? So perhaps, and I'm not saying this is absolutely what I believe, but perhaps we have this dome above us to keep us in a particular place, to learn particular things, and once we're ready to go beyond the veil is removed. The veil, I think, is the dome. Every reference to the veil is, for the most part, I think, is the dome, or the veil that lies over our consciousness. But anyways, what do you think? I would like to see a lot more videos on what do you think the dome is in place for? Why is it in place? Why are we being confined here? Are we in trouble? You know, have we as a species or a planetary consciousness or a group consciousness, have we done something where we deserve to be confined? Which is kind of along the lines of the Luciferian belief system. Or do you think that, you know, we have some sort of grand architect that built it as a home for us? You know, many of the religious people see the dome as being built by God, and this is our little home, and this is where we are to stay. I think a lot of us, our spirits want to be free from confinement, so that doesn't sound too great to a lot of us. But we who acknowledge that there is a dome also must acknowledge that the dome was a creation. It was made by somebody, or a group of people, or a group of beings, and they made it for a reason. And I think the reason is very self-explanatory. It's pretty much to keep us in or to keep something else out, or maybe both. So that's the simplicity behind the dome. And there's also, I just want to say this real quick, there are some people that believe that we are in some sort of a computer-generated form of existence, a virtual reality, a virtual existence, that I'm basically made up of numbers, and I myself am a simulation, and that whoever created us, the simulation, is monitoring and watching in order to figure out their own experiments or results. There might be some sort of truth to that, you know, especially when you get into like the molecular and things. But I don't lean towards that. That doesn't really resonate within me right now. But that gets into a whole new belief system about us all being one and interconnected and who is God and things like that. Anyways, I think there is a dome. I think that the dome is a euphemism for the mirror or the looking glass or the portal that we could travel through in order to arrive at fantastic places. And I think that when we're ready, that will happen. But I think we as a group consciousness, not just individuals who are waking up, but once we together wake up, maybe we'll be able to pierce through that veil. Maybe we'll be able to travel outside of the dome and experience Wonderland or Oz or whatever fantastic place that your mind has taken you to from time to time. Anyways, that's my video about the dome. Why is it there? What's on the other side of it? Feel free to tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.